Go.
Hi, I'm Evan Bashong here at the Grand Rapids MTG Brawl. Here with Dewey. I'm doing a deck tech here. Dewey, why don't you tell us what your deck is and where you got the idea?
Alright, so I'm playing 4-color Reanimator. The deck has been around ever since the FRITES deck popped up. You know, you have your enablers with Faithless Looting, Mulch, Grizzly Salvage. You're just dumping your deck into the graveyard, and then you're bringing the big stuff back with the Unburial Rites. For me, what I went with was the 4 Angels, double Crater Hoof Behemoths, as far as the big targets are going to go. Originally, the list popped up with Gristlebrand. Ended up cutting Gristlebrand because when he enters the field, the best you're going to do is draw 7. Sometimes he just dies. He doesn't get there. What you want to do is, when you drop something, it's going to have to make a big presence on the board. It's either going to get you the game or bring you back into the game. Gristlebrand just sometimes just doesn't get there. The list originally had more Centaur healers. We went with a split between Centaur healers and Huntmasters. That way we can increase our creature count. And Huntmaster right now is really good in the meta because there's a lot of people playing a lot of creature-based aggro decks, and Huntmaster can just block a lot of that stuff down. You know, you can make really good trades with him. 4-up Thragtusk, he's the man. He's the one that's going to keep you in the game. And there's no real way to deal with him effectively. So there's a 1-of Olivia. The Olivia lets you win a lot of mid-range games.
So for maybe people who don't know a lot about the FRITES deck, why don't you just go through like what the perfect hand would be, like the perfect line?
The perfect hand is you turn 1, drop Faithless Looting, pitch, draw 2 cards, pitch maybe some cards that aren't going to be as great for you, maybe the big guys, because then you're able to just start going right. Turn 2, you're either going to go Grizzly Salvage or the Mulch, and then from there what you're going to be able to do is, in a great world, you're going to be able to pitch some, get the Unburial Rites into the graveyard, a couple other enablers, and the deck only runs 23 lands, so the Mulch and the Grizzly Salvage really make up for that. You're able to be extremely greedy, and it pays off well. Because at the end, you're going to be able to start casting this stuff. And then turn 3, you normally either will cast Lingering Souls to get more creatures onto the board, keep yourself alive. You're going to be casting the Centaur Healer. If you find that it's necessary, turn 4, you can go on Unburial Rites if you have it in the graveyard with your target. Sometimes you might want to load more creatures onto the board with like Huntmaster. That way you're flashing back the Lingering Souls. So when you do Crater Hoof Behemoth, it's going to cause a bigger impact onto the board. Turn 4 Angel of Serenity is just insane. If you get to do that against any of the aggro decks, they can almost just lose to you. That's what happened in my last match. I was going against a white blue aggro deck, the Azorus Soldier Human deck, and he had a bunch of 2/2s, 3/2s on the board, pump him up, make him really strong, and I go turn 4 Angel, and he just couldn't come back from that.
So let's talk about your mana base here. Notice no basics.
No basics, don't want them. We have all the duels, we can run as many of them as possible. We got 4 of each Shockland, and then the list had a mixed number between the other N10 style lands. I wanted to bring in Cavern of Souls because there's a lot of American control decks and band control decks that are running the Syncopate and the Dissipates, and those are just terrible for me. If they counter the Unburial Rites early, the Grizzly Salvage, the Mulch, I can't enable my deck, and that's a really big problem. But if they do that, and I have Caverns for the late game, where I can still cast the Angel Serenity, the Huntmasters, the Thragtusk, and I can still get them onto the board, then I still have a big advantage, where if I don't, I'm just going to end up losing a lot of it. They'll be able to bring that stuff back.
And I'd like to talk about the Kessel Gold front as well. With all these huge creatures, it kind of seems like overkill.
It is a little overkill, but what it's going to cause is they have to deal with just like the 1-up creatures. I'm swinging with just the Huntmaster, and I'm swinging with just a Lingering Souls token. It makes math bad, and in all actuality, most people are bad at math when it comes to this game.
Yeah.
When they don't expect the Crater Hoof Behemoth coming in and giving everything plus, and then you have Kessig to back things up. The trample effect alone is worth it on Thragtusk, because if people can just chump block you all day and you haven't hit a real threat, and you're swinging with a Thragtusk, you want to hit a little something extra to push you through.
Let's go to the sideboard. See, we have additional removal here with a Sever the Bloodline.
Yep. There's another Sever the Bloodline to match the one that's in the main board. They're really good against any of the mid-range decks and a lot of the token decks as well that's floating around.
Is that an Abrupt Decay?
That is an Abrupt Decay. That's kind of like just a catch-all for somebody to hate that I'm going to be going against. It's going to be like the Rest in Peace, the Grafdigger's Cage, you know, and I have the double Ray of Revelations to deal with a lot of that, but there's just sometimes I want a little either extra removal or a good catch-all for something I just don't expect. There's a couple cards that I'm messing around with. One is Gisela, the other one's Garrick. They're gonna the 5/5 first strike doubles all damage I'm gonna be dealing. It halves all the damage I take. Is just it can win the game itself. If you throw that onto the board and you get any other creature, you're gonna be able to block everything and just swing really hard. The Garrick is, you know, it's for the mid-range plan and against the control matchups. If they have to wipe my board, if I drop a Garrick, most of the times they don't have a real way to deal with that.
Something I'm putting in is the Shaman down here.
Shaman, there's 3 of them, and it's for the mirror match, as well as, you know, you're gonna be it can hit like Snapcaster targets, as well as like, you know, being able to stop draw their triggers and getting rid of like Grave Prowler, so the zombie decks can't go above and beyond. But the main reason it's there for us, I was expecting to see a lot of Reanimator here, and you can beat the Reanimator decks just by playing Death Ray Shaman.
How good is it, the acceleration from it?
The acceleration is relevant. If I go, you know, turn 1, Death Ray Shaman, turn 2, I'm really not expecting to be able to activate the ability, but when I go to turn 3, with it, I'm able to do a turn 4 on Barrier Rights and, you know, bring back the Angel Serenity to stop people. The Slaughter games is there to... There's a lot of decks that don't run too many threats. Mainly the control decks. They rely on, like, for the Miracle decks, for example, a few Slaughter games that they treat the Angels, they're going to sit there and not be able to, you know, contend with you that much. They're going to play a lot of control. They're going to sit back. They're going to try to stop you from winning, but they don't have a great win at that point.
Let's talk about Divine Reckoning. I mean, you know, most people see that as like, oh, that card's terrible. Like, it lets them keep their best creature.
Like, I love that because I only care about my best creature. I care about keeping the Angel Serenity on board and not giving them back any value from that. And being able to flash back, all the flashback cards are just really important for me because if I dump it into the graveyard, I want to be able to bring that back and I want to still be able to play it. The cards that don't have flashback, I'm banking on them just being powerful enough by themselves that when I do draw that, it's gonna make a game changer. Well,
there you have it. This is Reanimator by Dewey, and seems to be a very powerful deck. He went 2-0 in his first match.